When it comes to fighting wildland fires, no helicopter company offers more experience or flexibility than Columbia Helicopters. Columbia Helicopters first began fighting fires with their helicopters in 1966 and now fly the most efficient aircraft on the fire lines. No other commercial aviation company operates the tandem rotor Columbia Model 234 Chinook or Columbia 107 helicopter, and both are ideal aircraft for fighting today's larger wildland fires. The twin rotors on each aircraft provide greater lifting power and more stability than helicopters with traditional tail rotors. Versatility is the key strength with Columbia Helicopters, giving incident commanders a number of options of how they may use these heavy lift helicopters on the fire lines. First and foremost, no other aviation company can compare with the speed with which Columbia can get water from hard-to-reach sources and deliver it to the fire lines. This is because Columbia has chosen to pair both of their aircraft with the SEI Tarantula Bambi bucket with power fill system. These buckets each contain 4 high-volume pumps that allow the pilot to fill either the Chinook or 107 bucket in less than 90 seconds from sources as shallow as 18 inches. Columbia's Model 234 Chinook carries a 2,580-gallon bucket. The Columbia 107 deploys a 1,300-gallon bucket. Both buckets are stored inside the aircraft as they fly to a fire and are quickly deployed upon arrival. As with all of Columbia's heavy lift operations, the buckets are slung from the helicopter using a 160-foot line. This combination of self-filling bucket and long line allows our pilots to draw from water sources not accessible by tanked helicopters or those using conventional buckets. This combination of the self-filling power fill bucket allowing access to shallow water sources, coupled with the long line, affords access to tree-lined streams and ponds, narrow canyons, and other confined spaces. As a result, this combination provides the greatest degree of flexibility to fire managers and will often result in the highest degree of effectiveness in fighting the fire at the lowest cost per gallon delivered. Of course, Columbia is also able to use more conventional water sources, such as lakes and shallow streams that may be accessible to tanked aircraft. These bucketed aircraft are even able to use the relatively shallow pumpkins used on some fires. The helicopters are also able to use retardant batch plants and dip tanks, providing incident commanders with the option of using these aircraft to deploy long-term retardant. These dip tanks can also be used as water sources. On California's 2007 Zaca fire, Columbia used the remains of a nearly dried-up river to get water. Fire officials stated that they often couldn't even see the water sources Columbia was using, and acknowledged that the 107 was making 4 drops to each one made by other helicopters. Columbia's pilots have a wide variety of options in their dropping sequences. First, the pilot is able to use the bucket conventionally, making 1 long single drop. They are also able to open and close the bucket gate, making a series of smaller spot drops. By opening the gate partially while in forward flight, the aircraft is able to use water or retardant to create a perfect fire line. During U.S. Forest Service testing at Chico, California, a bucketed Chinook met or exceeded all tanker board requirements and was able to create equal or better spread patterns than many tanked aircraft, including fixed-wing tankers. One additional benefit to the bucket and long line system is that the aircraft is always close to 200 feet above the fire. This distance not only dramatically reduces the rotor wash directed onto the fire, it provides the pilots with a greater margin of safety in an emergency situation. Simply removing the bucket from the long line adds a new layer of versatility to each aircraft. An incident commander who needs to move a lot of equipment in a hurry need look no further than the Model 234 Chinook. With a lifting capacity of 28,000 pounds, the Chinook is even capable of delivering bulldozers to the fire line. When an incident commander wants to put water or retardant on a fire, or when the incident commander has a heavy load that needs to be moved quickly, the versatile aircraft of Columbia Helicopters are the only helicopters to call. With over 40 years of helicopter firefighting experience, these guys are ready to do whatever they are asked to do on the lines.
Nice shot, Charlie Hotel. It's an excellent shot.